Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day of 2025. What is going on out here? World is to be a real crazy place. A very crazy place. Hit the like button coming through the door. It's Carcino for life. Hopefully, if you guys are new, you all are subbing up, subscribing to the page, all of those wonderful things. Now, Stephen A. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Who didn't see this coming? Now, salute to you too, sir. I'm the people's champ. Oh no, you the people's champ. Saying, yo, see, no. Oh, I see you. I see you. I see you. That's a dope shirt, my guy. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Now, let's get into this. What's good, Giz? Stephen A. Smith has made a living in his career of of just basically putting down black athletes. I can't name a white athlete he put down ever. He talks about news pundits. He talks about journalists. He talks about everything, but says, like, you shouldn't talk about these people. It's unbelievable. I guess Stephen A is the only person that's qualified that could speak on anything. So he goes into this war of words with Marcellus Wiley, which is a mistake for Stephen A. Smith. Oh, he could spin it to gold, but I don't even know where he was going with his I made it lines. It was cringeworthy. I made it. Oh, okay. I didn't know this was a race and you were trying to get to where you're going. It's a lot of people that made it, Stephen A. How you got there actually matters. So when you start bragging that you made it, I've made it. Okay. Mr. I made it. What's still left on the table is the fact that most people who go down this line and this whole nonsense and what he's going through, you start to see the doors open up real quick on Stephen A. with Marcellus Wiley. He really despises Marcellus Wiley. He hates it. Now, this is supposed to be about Max Kellerman. He made a tape. Now, Marcellus Wiley, who's never really been a problem, like him and Stephen A. never really crossed paths. When they worked at ESPN, they had no problems. When he went to Fox, they had no problems, even though he had a problem with Whitlock, for sure. One of Marcellus Wiley's former co-hosts and somebody he's still aligned with today. But he never had a problem with Marcellus Wiley. They never crossed each other's paths until Max Kellerman. Once Max Kellerman, who used to work with Marcellus Wiley, was no longer there and was let go from ESPN, and he went on this whole tour of just talking about how he didn't want to work with Max, when Max didn't say anything at all, period. He was, kept his mouth closed, and you didn't hear or see Max Kellerman anywhere. Max comes back. He's going to do his broadcasting for the Terrence Crawford fight against Canelo Alvarez. So with that going on, it brings us full circle here. And this wasn't even the discussion, people. Seriously, this was not even the discussion. The discussion was Jay Williams actually bringing up Max Kellerman's name. And it seemed to set Stephen A. Smith off that his name was brought up on the show as a reference or anything. He was just annoyed that Jay Williams did that. Jay Williams worked with Max for years at ESPN. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So the hydration situation, that's what he's named his segments. Now, here's Marcellus Wiley giving his take on Stephen A. Smith's critique.
I see, like anything, you can just go through and scroll, and I say, oh, how long can Stephen A. Smith hold his grudge against Max Kellerman? I said, what? That's what we're doing? So then I click on it, and that turns into Stephen A. Smith rolls eye and Max Kellerman reference interrupting First Take. On this show, we don't read articles, we read quotes. Then I see that's there. So I said, let's click on that. And then what I get from that is this. And then I usually make it bigger for all y'all out there. And then we click.
What does this mean about Halle? I think this is Halle spitting in the face of narratives. Whether you want to go to the narrative of a superstar, whether you want to go to the narrative of him being Jaleel White, whether you want to go to the narrative of him being corny or injured or overrated, this is him literally spitting in the face of it. And people can talk about TJ McConnell, deserves to be spoken about. People could talk about Pascal Siakam making buckets down the stretch, or Obi Toppin, deserves to be spoken about. But he is the engine to this car.
Jay will be killing it. Give him his props, all right? Give him some love right now. Thank you.
Got them going in the second half. And I will also say this, Gil. When it comes down to the wire, right? Max Kellerman used to have this line, if the death beam was focused on the earth and it's the Martians against the U.S.
Right. Okay, all right, I get it. Molly just took it in like, okay. She obviously took a little notice. You could see by her doing that, we're looking up in the air like, what's this about? But Jay Will and Molly basically are like, dog, whatever that was. It ain't, still is. But Stephen A. had a different response to it.
Okay, so that was Marcellus Wiley's commentary to Stephen A. Smith's reaction to Max's name being mentioned on First Take. Jay Williams worked with Max back when the two had a show with Keyshawn Johnson, so I'm pretty sure he's still cool with his boy Max. Didn't seem like he was trying to instigate anything, but nonetheless, you could tell Stephen A. Smith's response was pretty lackluster. Anyway, Stephen A. made this video addressing Marcellus Wiley indirectly, calling him some podcaster who can't even get a job in the media. Basically, he just went off on Wiley. Have a listen.
And of course, a couple of people in the podcast stratosphere used to be in sports, but now can't get a damn job. So their job all of a sudden is being a media critic instead of covering sports, but we won't go there. So they got on me for playing solitaire. They said that I was upset that Max Kellerman, my former colleague at ESPN on First Take, I got upset because he's going to be calling the Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fight in September.
That was never the case. From what I've heard, I did not hear that at all. I did not hear anything about him saying he was upset because because Max Kellerman was calling the fight. They said you were rolling your eyes because his name was mentioned on the show. So we don't know what he's actually responding to, because that wasn't the case. That's not what he said. The Mann Act on Cassandra will most likely be removed because it was in the past 5 years statute of limitation for the Mann Act. I didn't know there was a 5-year statute of limitation on the Mann Act. I will have to check that. I know that's the RICO charge. The RICO has to be within 5 years. So that's a whole different situation. Now, now what Stephen A is talking about is entirely different. Stephen A is talking about something that is totally off the reservoir. What he's saying is not making a lot of sense because it's like he's talking to like 3 or 4 different people so far from what I'm hearing. And it's like, if he's talking about because they can't get a damn job, he might be talking about Whitlock, but Marcellus Wiley has been offered jobs. He's turned them down to do what he's doing, mostly because he didn't want to travel back and forth. Like he almost took a job when they had the First Things First. Like he almost took that job with Fox, but that was filming in New York and he's in California, as you know, Stephen A. So he almost took it. The money was good, but you know, he's got a kid, he's got a family. So the commute would be the problem in that situation. But he's comfortable with what he's doing. And I don't think he gave an unfair critique of you. But whatever he says seems to irk you and get under your skin and get you speaking. But let's.
They looked at my face and said I was upset. They talked about the NBA coverage, and one site said that I was a net negative on the NBA coverage. Should check the ratings. Max Kellerman. I'm upset about Max Kellerman. I have nothing against Max Kellerman. I didn't want to work with him on First Take anymore. That's all. I didn't think we were good partners for a debate show. If we were doing boxing, if we were doing Sports Center or something like that, nothing. No problem. For a 2-hour daily debate show, I didn't think we worked any longer. That's all. Never wanted him fired. Never wanted him unemployed. Happy he's back. Because I don't wish for brothers not to get a check and not to be employed. And that brother is brilliant and he deserves a check. And oh, by the way, you ain't going to find anybody that knows more boxing than him. I'm happy for him. Even though his boy will lie his ass off and say otherwise because he going to get more clicks. Y'all know who the hell it is. It's unbelievable. The shit that people make up just to create clicks, because that's all you can do to get a check now. I'm not talking about Max. I'm talking about his peeps. Y'all know who they are with their podcast. You got to be kidding me. Because you see, when you make stuff up and you're talking about me, you still have me in the headlines, which means you know that it will create clicks for you.
So that's what
Stephen A went full Tupac on the whole. He went full Tupac on the whole situation. He said Marcellus Wiley explained why he did not take jobs with the NBA covers. They should have let Bob Myers do. more during the NBA Finals coverage than the other basketball people who work at ESPN. Archie, that's because Bob Myers don't know shit. I'm gonna tell you that now. Bob Myers don't know what the hell he's doing on there. He's one of the worst commentators that ever sat in that chair. He's terrible. He doesn't fit any of it. So, what has gotten him so fired up, though? Going back to Stephen A. What has got Stephen A so hot? Normally, with Stephen A gets so hot. Look at him. He looked like a hobo. Stephen A looked like a hobo right now. He does. He looks like a hobo, and he's out here pushing a narrative. He is. He's out here pushing his own narrative because the narrative that he created doesn't even exist. And the reason it don't exist is because it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all over the place. And we'll get to that. Oh, he went full ether mode. He kept going. Like, this thing went on forever. Stephen A. Smith decided he was going to continue this train forever. So, here's the thing. He keeps bragging on the fact that it's not a reality. It's not real. Like, that's not even a realistic thing to say because, like, Marcellus Wiley turned down jobs. Now, if you want to talk about Whitlock, yes, he's a network killer because he's going to say some things that are controversial and anti-Black. And to be a Black guy to say it, to make, conservative white guys feel important and say, yes, see, Black guys think it too. That's his role, but he can't be on national television anymore. He's too controversial in that nature. And that's bad when even the racist stations say they can't have you on. Well, that's a different situation. That's a whole, what you just talking about is different. You see, Marcellus Wiley and Max Kellerman, they were good friends, but it wasn't like they were the best of friends. Hell, Max was about to swing on Marcellus Wiley one time after a show. Like, after they finished, he was about to fight him, but they respect. Like, let's go have dinner. And no, they were professional colleagues. He was just making a point that you seem disturbed that Jay Williams used a quote from Max Kellerman on the show, and you were pissed. He turned, and you rolled your eyes on the show. That's what he read it. Somebody wrote the article, and he just brought it up. That's all. And that ruffled your feathers that much. he didn't even get disrespectful, really. He was just pointing out the fact that, hey, this is what's happening. This is what people are talking about. So you decided to make it something else. And you wanted to talk to us, me, anybody. Message to my critics.
So because of them, out of respect for them, I'm not going to mention names of the trifling ass individuals that keep talking shit about me. See, I don't mind. That's the thing that people miss. This kind of stuff makes me happy. It's right up my alley. It's right up my alley. It don't bother me.
Well, it seems to bother you because you're making the video. You're making the video addressing it, so it obviously is bothering you. If it didn't bother you, you'll be doing your regular thing and you can make a reference to it, but that ain't what you're doing. You're making a video on it because it's bothering you. There's plenty of stuff you could have been talking about. Terrell Owens was never invited back. Of course he wasn't. He said Black Max is more blacker than Stephen A. Stephen A. off the loco. Yeah, Stephen A. is back in his mode, saying it don't bother him when he do. You know how somebody be like, I ain't mad. No, I ain't mad. They pissed. You $100 million man. So you $100 million man, and this is what you got time for.
It didn't bother me before I got paid.
See, now it's all about the money. He bragging behind the money, flexing behind the money. It didn't bother me before I got paid. So now you're going to use the money as a flex, the $100 million man.
It didn't bother me before I returned back to Sirius XM starting September 2nd.
Still doing the plugging.
It didn't bother me before I had my own YouTube channel. You know damn sure don't bother me now. Only thing that bothers me is when people ask me not to say anything. I like to choose, even though I have the power to do so. I like to choose, but I listen to my teammates. I listen to my staff. I listen to people who I know love and support me because they got my best interests at heart. You feel what I'm saying? So I get it. But I saw people on the air. First of all, let's go down the list. They got on me for playing solitaire for a couple of minutes during the NBA game. Even contemporaries on other networks were talking about me. And of course, you know, a couple of people in the podcast stratosphere used to be in sports, but now I can't get a damn job.
See, that's the thing about Stephen A. that the whole world need to see. That's the Stephen A. I want them to see. Because, see, Steve so distracting. You know, that's what I'm saying. He is so distracting that when you see him, it's almost like he's larger than life. But in reality, he's just another person with an ego. And his ego, And what he cherishes is the fact that he got paid. And he think money dictates or make him bigger than what he really is. Now, why would you do an episode on your show or a segment directed to your critics and haters? First of all, as a black man in your position, because you love to push the black man card, right? As a brother in your position, can you afford to be playing solitaire during an NBA game? How did we get that information that you were doing that? How did they get a clip of you doing that? Because your own team, your staff, your camera crew, your people there at ESPN, they filming you doing stuff on your computer. They filming your banking information. Remember live on the show, they was like, they're filming your banking information and all of this stuff. They're posting it live. I don't know why they're doing that. And you the executive producer. That was one time during the NBA Finals. During First Take, they filmed him actually with his paycheck and all this other stuff, his personal information on the screen, on the show. And Molly was trying to tell him, yes. And this became a growing problem because when it's not a growing problem, these incidents don't happen.
So their job all of a sudden is being a media critic instead of covering sports, but we won't go there.
Now, you a media critic also. You criticize the media. You've done it before. You criticized ownerships, players, everything else. And no one could do it but you. But because you're getting paid to do it by a network, this is what it's come to. But your crew is sabotaging you because you're a black man and they don't like. There's people at ESPN can't stand your ass. That's your crew. They're trying to embarrass you. That's why they filming that stuff. And they putting it out to the world. This is who we riding with. All the expert journalists are out of the way. And now it became a satire show. Starring Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. turned ESPN into WWE. And of course, why would any journalist be happy?
On the NBA coverage, should check the ratings. Were you around when I worked over 325 days this calendar year? I'm talking about the last 365 days, not since January 1st. Were you around? I love how y'all trying to find something. I really, to my man Rashawn and Griff and everybody, yo, I got an announcement to make. I really have made it. I really, really have. I have made it. I mean, stop the presses. I've made it.
You just made it. When you hit 60 years old, you up here. I made it. I made it. I got some money. All you did was follow what Pat McAfee did. Pat McAfee kicked in the door, came in there, and took over. And you look like the big doofus you was. Got mad at him because you wasn't in position. Didn't you already? You've been on First Take for 13 years. So what do you mean? You made it. I made it. What did you make? Huh? Did you make it to your kids can be satisfied for the rest of their life? Your kids, families? You built something that can last forever? Or you got something just for you right now? Do you have inherited wealth? What did you build, Stephen A? What is this? I made it. What did you make it to? I made it.
Because y'all are making news. It was on the back pages because I was playing solitaire. Somebody, I said it was during the timeout. Somebody said it wasn't during the timeout. Well, when the timeout finished, I was still playing it in the middle of the third quarter. And did you see me do 2 hours of pregame? ESPN and then ABC? You see me do halftime? Did you see me do postgame? Did you see me do First Take every single morning? You're just making it up.
Everybody's making it up. Everybody's making it up. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, that's crazy. Now, yeah, that's crazy work. So as you can see, Stephen A goes on his, they're making it all up, his rant, right? It's all an illusion. They're making it all up. He's feeling himself. But what he didn't expect.
What's up, y'all? It's Marcellus Wiley, that dude. Let's talk about what y'all talking about, which is Stephen A. Smith has a message to his haters. Ooh, a message to the critics. So let me tell you how I found out about this, because yesterday I put out the Joy Taylor interview where she was talking about her FS1 contract. She was talking about the lawsuit. She was talking about Taylor Rooks, all that stuff. And I did it, and it was a great video. But then it got copyrighted, and they had to exclude and trim out all of the video from the Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club want their money. I ain't mad at them. But then the video came out all weird, and all the comments were saying, come on, dog, what you doing? We don't even get this because we don't hear Joy. But what they were really talking about was Stephen A. Smith taking shots at you, Wiley. I said, what? Okay, well, let's give him his day in court, which is a hydration situation. So, you know, we're going to dive deep into this. And I took a little deep dive into it. It's pretty long, so I might break this up in parts, but we'll get to that. No worries. But before we do all that, you know what you got to do. Support. We stuttering already. Okay, look, a little nervous. Probably don't two-parter because it's too damn long. Stephen A. Smith, let go.
Just as an aside. Before I get on out of here today, preface my comments by my pending comments by saying,
we stuttering already. Okay, look, a little nervous. Probably don't want to do this, but gonna go do this. I don't know, but I know one thing. I've only had 3 fights in my life, and all of them started before the other person knew they were gonna happen. I ain't stuttering. I ain't talking. I ain't coming up to you saying, so what I heard, what? So if you come out stuttering, the athlete in me is saying, do you really want to be here? And in sports 101, never do something half-ass. Never do something if you ain't fully into it, because that's how you get hurt.
My staff didn't want me to do this.
Oh, okay. I told you.
They didn't want me to bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
So because of them, out of respect for them, I'm not going to mention names or the trifling ass individuals that keep talking shit about me. See, I don't mind. That's the thing that people miss. This kind of stuff makes me happy. It's right up my alley. It's right up my alley. It don't bother me.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So I see where we're going to go with this. And we ain't even got, 39 seconds into it. We're going to hide behind our staff and say, you know what? I don't really want to do this. They don't want me to do this, but I got to get this off my chest. Like it's been bothering them. Interesting. All right. So hide behind the staff, because they don't want you to say anything. So now we're not going to say names. All right. Let me tell you one thing my coach said. He said, if you don't say names and numbers when you saying something bad about us, this team, or somebody else out there, you don't say their name and their number. Tell you what my coach said. You a punk ass bitch. Now, I'm not calling Stephen A. a punk ass bitch, but his actions will if he ain't gonna go there, according to my coach. Now, it don't bother you, Stephen A., but you want to do a video on something that doesn't bother you. So you're doing an unbothered video about something that doesn't bother you. Okay, I'm here for it. Let's see how this sounds.
It didn't bother me before I got paid.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't bother me before I returned back to Sirius XM starting September 2nd.
Get that.
It didn't bother me before I had my own YouTube channel. You know damn sure don't bother me now. Only thing that bothers me is when people ask me not to say anything. I like to choose, even though I have the power to do so. I like to choose, but I listen to my teammates. I listen to my staff. I listen to people who I know love and support me because they got my best interest at heart. You feel what I'm saying? So I get it.
You get it. Okay. Woo. Let me see this one. Stephen A. is winning. Can I say that again louder? Because I'm not a hater of Stephen A. Smith, actually. I haven't seen Stephen A. Smith in forever, but trust me, if you watch all of my videos, I give him tons of praise. Also got some some critiques of him as well, some criticisms, right? Here's the thing. You are winning, bro. I mean, out there working harder than anybody else. Maybe you and Pat McAfee are trying to win that race of who works the hardest and who's winning the most. You guys are at it, and I salute that. I'm proud of that. I'm proud to even know you, that you put that much work in, that much grind in it. But I don't want you to confuse you winning with that others haven't won, and you looking at one right now. So you winning is great, and we salute it. But some people have been there before. Some people act like they've been there before. So you're winning, but don't forget, you ain't the only one that won. And I also caught in there that he said he's going to, remember he said he's listening to his teammates, right? So this staff element is interesting because he's using them to maybe show us he ain't gonna go all the way there. The governor, like there's more coming, or I can go harder, but y'all better look out. Hold me back. It's almost like that. Hold me back. My staff is holding me back. You don't really want to fight. Because trust me, if I ever want to fight somebody, and y'all know I ain't a fighter, but if I ever want to, ain't nobody out there gonna stop the bum rush.
But I saw people on the air. First of all, let's go down the list.
Names?
They got on me for playing solitaire.
Oh, okay.
For a couple of minutes during the NBA game.
Come on, y'all. Oh.
So their job all of a sudden is being a media critic. My former colleague at ESPN on First Take, I got upset because he's going to be calling the Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fight in September.
See, my coach ain't gonna call me no punk ass bitch. Nope, I hear you, coach, right here. He talking about Nick Wright. Got to be talking about Nick Wright. Now, Nick Wright is interesting because I think they have a relationship, or at least they had one. And Nick Wright is fond of Stephen A. Smith, but he also is someone that's compelled to call out the bullshit. And since he's been calling out the bullshit, Stephen A. Smith has been under fire from Nick Wright of late, and you can see maybe that affects their personal relationship. I'm not sure. But I know I'm gonna put some names and numbers to this. Don't ever confuse and don't ever forget what this show is about. This show is about sports and sports media. That civil war that I saw that was occurring, and the lack of respect that was given to the athletes by the media. So the voices in the media were getting so loud that I was like, I wonder if they could take the same criticism that these athletes are taking from them on the daily. So I found this lane. And it's nothing new because we've all been doing it individually and in group text, clowning people. Like, come on, dog, that ain't it. But it was so one-sided, sports media to athlete, I decided to reverse it. And because I've been on both sides, who better to do that? So now he's talking about people in the podcast space who can't get a job. I'm assuming that's Jason Whitlock, and I'm assuming that's me. Okay, let me say one thing, just to give you guys the real. I technically have never been fired from anywhere. And I know a lot of people don't understand that. So I worked at NFL Network. NFL Network, I was a correspondent. I was an on-air correspondent. I literally was an active player at the NFL Network before they even opened it up. Like, they didn't even have facilities, really. Then I went to ESPN. I worked there. Now, ESPN wanted to re-sign me, but Fox wanted to sign me as well. And that was for a lot more money, okay? Now, you go from Fox. How did it end at Fox? They offered me something. I didn't like that offer. Now, there's a lot more to that offer, as we all have found out over the recent months. But the point is, I've never been kapa. And there are opportunities for me to go and do other gigs. I was just with TJ Houshmandzadeh this weekend. He said, "Dog, you don't really want to do TV anymore," because he knows some of these opportunities, et cetera. I was like, nah, I am in my home. I am in one of my studios in my home. Listen, y'all, my kids are upstairs asleep. I'm not on the road 367 days of the year. It ain't even that many, right? I am with my itty bitties. I have won. I am winning. I am okay. I am encouraging others to win. I don't think I'm bigger than myself. So I think he was talking about me and Whitlock. I'll let Whitlock defend himself. The last part about that Max Kellerman thing, I don't get it. I don't know who said that. So I'm not going to go there right now. I don't know. So y'all beat it up in the comments. Let me know who said that.
They talked about the NBA coverage. And one site said that I was a net negative on the NBA coverage. Should check the ratings. It really should.
Get that.
But that's neither here nor there. People saying this stuff. Couple of things. Number one, I was doing my podcast here. While I was doing my podcast and waiting for some footage to be drawn up or something like that, you know what I was doing? Solitude.
Bang, bang.
I do it all the time. Why? Because I want to. That's why.
Oh.
Do what the hell I want to do on my platform.
Okay. All right. Sounds strong. Sounds amazing. But y'all know on this show, we use people's words for them or against them. You started off this show stuttering. You started off this show hiding behind the staff, saying I haven't been doing what I wanted to do and come out and talk trash and call people out because of my staff, because of my bosses, you know, all that kind of talk, right? But now you do what you want to do. So if you do what you want to do, why you give us that beginning? Why we get that intro? And if you're doing what you want to do, bring the smoke. Say it with your chest. It's just interesting. In 3 minutes, we done been on both sides of this conversation already by the same dude. Trust me, it's going to get better.
Secondly, were you around when I was traveling about 200 days this year? Were you around when I worked over 325 days this calendar year? I'm talking about last 365 days, not since January 1st. Were you around?
We get it. We get it.
I love how y'all trying to find something. I really, listen to my man Rashawn and Griff and everybody. Yo, I got an announcement to make. I really have made it.
You made
I
it.
really have.
You made it.
I have made it.
You made it.
I mean, stop the presses. I've made it. Because y'all are making news. It was on the back pages because I was playing solitaire.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, I said it was during the timeout. Somebody said it wasn't during the timeout. Well, when the timeout finished, I was still playing it in the middle of the third quarter. And did you see me do 2 hours of pregame?
Yeah.
ESPN and then ABC? You see me do halftime? Did you see me do postgame? Did you see me do first take every single morning? You're just making it up. Making it up.
Making it up. Oh, this is tough. This part is tough right here because it just seems like he just can't own up to it. So he has used the fact that he got coverage of him playing solitaire as a reason why he's big time, because even little things like that are big and blown out of proportion. Well, that's not smart. That's not true. That's not actually being genuine. The real of it is that story got legs and that story got big is because you tried to cover it up and lie about it. And once again, the cover up is worse than the crime. If you just owned up to it, people would be like, yeah, who goes to a game and watches all of the game? One of the worst things about going to a game is how you got to socialize with the person next to you, person in front of you, the person behind you, and everybody coming up to you and speaking, right? We get that. Stephen A., you should have owned it by saying the truth. Like, yeah, I was playing solitaire during the game. Who watches a game all the way through? But instead, you tried to lie. Your first response was, oh, it was during the timeout and all that. No, it wasn't. And why does that matter? Why does this story get legs? It gets legs is because they got other ammunition against you. The wrong name, not knowing who's on the team and talking real general. When it's the NBA finals, you sound like my son when he talking about basketball. He 9 sometimes. Like, just, oh yeah, they look really good. They run fast up the court. It's like, dog, there are specialists that can nail this stuff and you work with them. And they don't get that opportunity because you there fluffing it or solitairing it. And that's why that story had legs. Stop trying to be disingenuous with that story. Now, Nobody gives a damn if you play solitaire. You trying to run with that. People give a damn if I'm tuning into the NBA Finals and the guy who's covering it actually is not watching it. You know that. So let's continue.
Max Kellerman. I'm upset about Max Kellerman. I have nothing against Max Kellerman. I didn't want to work with him on First Take anymore. That's all. I didn't think we were good partners for a debate show. If we were doing boxing, if we were doing Sports Center or something like that, nothing. No problem. For a 2-hour daily debate show, I didn't think we worked any longer. That's all. Never wanted him fired. Never wanted him unemployed. Happy he's back. Because I don't wish for brothers not to get a check and not to be employed. And that brother is brilliant. And he deserves a check. And oh, by the way, you ain't going to find anybody that knows more boxing than him. I'm happy for him. Even though his boy will lie his ass off and say otherwise because he's going to get more clicks. Y'all know who the hell it is. It's unbelievable. The shit that people make up.
There we go.
Just to create clicks because that's all you can do to get a check now. I'm not talking about Max.
Come on, me.
I'm talking about his peeps.
Oh, it's more of us now, huh?
Y'all know who they are with their podcast.
Oh, now it's with they, huh?
You got to be kidding me. But it's all right. It's okay. Because you see, when you make stuff up, you're talking about me, you still have me in the headlines. Which means you believe I'm relevant. Which means you know that it will create clicks for you. And that really kills you, doesn't it?
Okay, that's halfway through this damn thing. I'm only relevant because I talk about Stephen A. Smith for clicks and views. Damn, I have been reduced and deduced to just that. Stephen A. I don't know what school you went to. I think it's Salem Winston and FIT, if I heard it correctly. I used to go down there and model, get $100 every day when I modeled FIT. I heard you play basketball there. I don't know what that competition looked like. Anyway, let me just tell you one thing, big dog. By your own logic. See, this show is about using your words for you or against you. So you're talking about me, but scared to say my name, which is already soft in itself. My coach called you a punk ass bitch. I could give you his number if you want to handle that with him. But let's get to this part, because if I'm talking about you because you're relevant and for clicks and views, but now you're talking about me, I must be relevant. It must have got to you somehow. I must be relevant. And that really kills you, doesn't it? I can do it too. The point is, stop acting like you're doing something that nobody else is doing. You say, I cover sports, and that's content. You ain't making that content up. You ain't making Dak make no throw. All you're doing is reacting to what Dak does, acting and reacting to what LeBron does. Guess what I do? I react to what Dak does. I react to what LeBron does, but I also react to what Stephen A. does. And you don't like it. So if you don't like it, you can't take the heat. Get your ass about the kitchen because you love giving the heat to the athletes. But it seems like it gets to you a little different. Seems like it's a little disturbing to you. So just had to clear that one up because if you can't take this heat, get out the kitchen. It's just that simple. Now let's talk about what you said. You started off talking about Max Kellerman, right? Interesting. There's two parts of this. I didn't make up one thing about the Max Kellerman story from my old videos about you and him and Stephen A. Smith. Don't do that. To the point where I actually didn't say everything I know, not even probably half of it. And it's not just from Max. It's from everybody that works there. You forget, Stephen A. I worked there for 11 years, man. You think the people stop calling me, stop texting me? Come on, man. I'm not going to do that because I protect those cats. I protect the guilty, people who don't like you, but act like they do because they got to. There's so many people in this world that because they need that job and they want that job or they want to work with you, Stephen A. I don't know if you understand this because you just got to winning. You just told me you finally have arrived and you're now winning. I've been there. 97 drafts, homie. This is nothing new to me. You just figuring out that you don't know who's real from fake. Cats is over there telling me real stuff. And two things I know for a fact, that you wanted Max to be the white guy. You know, talk on the white issues. You needed another Skip Bayless, so he had to look that way. You had to have a white guy. Remember those days back then when everybody had to keep the stereotypes alive? You had to have the show like that. You know? Now you got to have, you had to have the moderator, the woman, the pretty woman. Come on, man. We all know what this is, the typecast. You needed a white guy. Problem is, as T.O. told you and told the world, Max is blacker than you. And whether you agree with that or not, I don't believe in that stuff. But I do know one thing. Max knew more black culture than you. You got mad. How do I know that? I watched. People told me. People that watched told me. Whatever that means. That don't mean he blacker than you, but you took it that way because that means you got your own insecurities, partner. And the other thing is, I should have told you this from hello. You wanted to win the debates all the time and be the smartest in the room. Oh, you picked the wrong dude. Max is a bona fide. When I say genius, I am not exaggerating that. This is not hyperbole, brother. This dude's a genius. Man, I used to sit there and talk to Max sometimes. I'm like, God dang, what he just say? And that was amazing. Come on, man. It's okay. There's different lanes. I can't play basketball worth a lick. I mean, I am the first pick in everybody's run. And then as soon as we play one game, they trying to trade me. I probably still beat you. But the point is, I had to get one in. The point is, come on, dog. Know what you good at and know what you ain't. You can't pick Max, the former rapper, the dude who ran through New York, the dude who knew boxing, you can't pick him to be the white guy, typical white guy. And you certainly can't pick him if you want to out-debate him and outsmart him all day, every day. Not gonna happen. So that's the Max Kellerman part that I have told before. And there's more, and you know there's more. And if you really want to go there, I don't think you want to go there. Anyway, let's move on from that. I don't lie, bro. People that know me, people that don't know me. One thing, people support me because they like, dog, you're going to keep it real. No favoritism, no sacred cows. Look, I still like you, Stephen A. When I see you, I'm going to give you love, just like I did with Ryan Clark and anybody else that think I got a problem with them. I walk up to them and I say, hello, what's up? Ain't my fault that they get their panties in a bunch. Ain't my fault that they scared. Ain't my fault that they want to change the story. Ain't my fault that they feel certain type of way. These are just words, brother. And I'm never going to fight, so do what you do. But I'm always going to speak and show respect, just the way I am. I think I'm going to walk around with some Stephen A. poisoning me, mad at Stephen A., mad at these cats that mad at me. You just mad at me. Don't get mad because I laugh when I see you because it's all love, bro. All right. Last part about this is simple. Because damn, I told you I have this video. I'm about to wrap my ass off.
Uh-oh. Something went wrong. All right, we're having a technical difficulty. But yes, 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 we're having what we're having a problem with is some technical issues. Bear witness. It'll be back rolling in a minute. Stephen A. sabotaging. Yeah, that's you can believe that. The man who's not bothered on the 4th of July, seeming a little bothered to me. Now, he brought up some very good points to everything Stephen A. was saying. Huge points. You see, Marcellus Wiley don't get mad. He don't waste time getting mad. What he does is get even. And he give you the facts. Stephen A. acts as if he's the only guy to make, like he's the first guy to do something. You're the first Stephen A. Smith to do something. I've made it. Like, okay, I made it too. I'm in my crib. You got to run around from place to place. They finna run you into the grave for that 100 million. You can't enjoy it. They got you running from spot to spot. Hold on, I'm almost there. Okay, I gotta get on another plane. I gotta be in Bucharest. We doing ESPN rodeo with my cowboy hat. Yeehaw! It's Stephen A. for ESPN rodeo. They say, Stephen A., what you know about rodeo? Oh, I know about rodeo. You can't tell me about a horse. What's the name of that horse? Oh, Bruno. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, man, Bruno, baddest horse in here. Bruno is so good. He could probably take on LeBron James. They gonna have Stephen A. out here doing every damn thing. ESPN 8. Bowling with Stephen A. Smith. Oh, I used to bowl. I ain't saying I had 300, but I was probably like 275 as a bowler. Well, can you throw one bowl? All right, I'll throw one ball out. Oh, that's a gutter ball. Yeah, it's been a while. Man, man. See, I used to hold the ball right there. You see, man, I kind of sprained it because I ain't did this in a while. But you know I could if I put my mind to it. I'm just busy being on First Take every day from 11 to 8 p.m. to 3 p.m. Cyrus Radio started on September 2nd. Stephen A., man, I swear. Man, Stephen A., what are we doing? Oh, there's so many people out here already making their reflections. It's a lot of people reflecting. Yeah, they came in for some good old sabotage. The narrative will always be the narrative. Reality, well, that's a whole nother story. For some reason, the file was corrupted. All these warning lights popped up. It was crazy. Now I got to run diagnostics. Well, when you take time out of your day to go through this process, you see that Stephen A. Smith, and like he said, there's reasons you don't like Max. Max had the people. And when he said about Max Kellerman was the greatest analogy ever, when T.O. said, Max seemed blacker than you, and he says, it's not that Max is actually blacker than you. It's just that he's more engulfed with Black culture than you. Oh my God, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Because these are facts. Stephen A. Smith has never been embraced by Black culture more than Max Kellerman. Max came up rapping, hanging out, black dudes living in his crib, smoking weed, running in New York. He was doing everything. He was in the boxing circles. Max Kellerman was the man in the hood, son. Max Kellerman's brother was killed by a boxer who punched the guy in the ring after the fight. That was crazy. Mad crazy. And that fighter was a black man. Did that make Max hate all black men because a black man killed his brother? His brother Sam? No. He didn't base that off and blame a whole race of people because one person killed his brother. Now, he said, yes, we're having technical difficulties times 4. So Max Kellerman is more engulfed in black culture than you. That is very telling. Very telling. Yeah. So oh, definitely. We appreciate all the love and support. So that's what happened. My take on it is that Stephen A. Smith needs to worry about nothing but Stephen A. Smith. So if it didn't bother you, Stephen A., if you're so busy seeing how your schedule is and everything you do is so all over the place, why won't you take your own advice and don't worry about it? Stop worrying about it. That's all you got to do. Sounds like the easiest solution in the book. Stop worrying about it. Because if you're not worrying about it, they won't worry about The only person that was worried about it was you. When you spoke about it, you kept it going. You was mad at awful coaching for making the article and bringing that up on its platform. Then you were upset at the fact that everybody around you who saw the narratives, who saw everything in totality, you were upset that that was the case. You became engulfed in your own celebrity and fame. Hell, I could say I've made it. I've made it, Stephen A. I'm in my house. I'm relaxed. Finna go make a drink. We've all made it. There's many of us that have made it, sir. Many of us that have made it. But many of us don't go around throwing it in people's faces because, see, they have to make it every day. You act as if nothing can get taken from you. Hell, and you just see what happened. They could take it off. So with that being said, I'm out. Love, peace, and hair grease. And I'm going to figure out what's going on here and try to get this virus, whatever they didn't put on this thing, out of here.